Good morning, Fats. How you doing? You well?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed always, in always. Can't complain. We're here to talk about your new book and how it encourages readers to be their own main character. Talk about it, Fats, because I love the sentiments that it seems to be expressing.
So my new book is inspired by my life stories and what I've gone through in my life in terms of my disability and the challenges that come with that. So it's called Main Character Energy, 10 Commandments to Living Life Fearlessly. And the reason why I have that name is because we are all main characters in our own lives. And we often forget about that because we're too busy caring about others and what others think and how others feel. But at the same time, we were born alone. Well, I guess not twins, but at the end of the day, we are born alone and we die alone. So, and fearlessness, that's something I have definitely been doing my whole life, being fearless every time I step out that door, every time I step into a new building, every time I meet new people, it's fearlessness. And yeah, I just wanted to share that sentiment with people. And when I was trying to be more confident, what helped me was reading self-help books. So my book is a mix between a self-help book and an autobiography. So yeah, I can't wait for people to read it and get the feedback and feel the love that I'm trying to give to people.
Achondroplasia, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about how your experiences with that shape the way that you approach life's challenges. Like, how did you kind of approach, or just talk about it, because there's a lot of people that are not going to know what achondroplasia is. So give me a snapshot of that journey from your own personal walk.
So it starts, but even before my life began. So my mum and dad found out that I would either have Down syndrome or dwarfism because doctors called them into hospital when my mum was 6 months pregnant. And they said that your child her head is bigger, her head is growing bigger than her body. And that can only mean she either has dwarfism or Down syndrome. Do you want to terminate your, 1 second. And my mom, she already fell in love with me as I was growing in her, like as a pregnancy was going on, she was falling in love with me. And she said no. She said, no, I don't want to abort this baby. I'm going to love the child, whatever the condition they have. So yeah, it starts from there, and it kind of shows the love that they've always showed me throughout my life as well. It starts from there. So obviously I came out with dwarfism, and with dwarfism, it's the lack of cartilage in my joints that affects the way my body grows. So my torso is average height, but my arms and legs are shorter than usual. So, and about 75% of people with dwarfism have achondroplasia, and dwarfism as a whole, it happens in 1 in 30,000 births. So it's very, very rare. And yeah, so I grew up with achondroplasia. And when I realized that I was smaller than everyone else, I realized that I couldn't run as fast as everyone else. I couldn't reach things the same way everyone else could. And that really affected me because I was thinking, why am I not growing the same way as everyone? I was so confused. I didn't know, I didn't understand it. And
how old was you at that point?
Maybe about 5, I think.
Okay.
4 or 5, when people were way taller than me and I was still like teeny. And yeah, so it just made me realize I'm different. Oh my God, I'm way smaller than everyone. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, so when I realized that, I started noticing other people looking at me funny and other people ridiculing my height. that affected me a lot because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to explain it to people. Kids started telling me, "Oh, you should have ate your fruit, your vegetables and drank milk when you were a baby." And after a while, I actually started drinking milk every day just so that I could grow. And of course, it didn't work. Also, I was injected every day by my dad so that it could, I think it was to boost my growth, or it was, what was it? Yeah, it was basically to try help with my growth. And that didn't work. I was getting injected every day, like about maybe for 5 years. And yeah, it was just my own like journey, I guess, and the doctor hospital visits as well. None of my siblings had to go to the hospital as much as I did. So I realized I was different from a very, very young age.
When did you turn the pain of that journey, because you've talked about, you know, how it's left you feeling, into the purpose that you're moving with now? Because you're a disability advocate and you're obviously inspired by your own disability to you know what I mean, to advocate for people in your position, but that's turning the pain into purpose, right? So when did that light bulb go off?
I would say as a teenager, I think those were my worst years with achondroplasia. I think that's when I was very like suicidal. I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. I had very low self-esteem. I hated going out. I hated like social interaction. I was at a very, very low point. But I think when started getting tired of that version of me. So I started to read self-help books and manifestation. I didn't know what I was going to manifest, but I knew I was going to manifest something great. Do you know what I mean? So I think what was important for me at the time was to try gain some confidence through something. So I saw an ad asking for people with like people that had dwarfism, people that, you know, had albinism, alopecia. And for me, I thought, wow, you're calling my name. I am the inclusivity. I am sitting right here. And it almost felt like a dream. It was like, I need to do something like this so that I can come out of my comfort zone, because as well as not feeling confident, at the same time, I'd always want to challenge myself in something. So yeah, I challenged myself in that. And then when they accepted me and said, "Oh, we want you to be a part of the campaign, by the way, it's underwear," I was like, wow, okay, even more of a challenge. My first ever modeling is underwear. Okay, great. Oh, all right. That was a massive challenge because I threw myself in the deep end, but afterwards I felt absolutely amazing, felt really good about myself. I felt like I was representing. And then when I posted it on Instagram, that's when it went boom. That's when it went like insane. So
What year was that? Just for context.
2017. That was in 2017. So it's been about 6 years now since then. And yeah, that changed my life because it showed me that I had a purpose online and that I could build a platform so that I was thinking to myself, let me start posting more. Let me start showing myself more. And I started building a platform online. Started building a platform online, and yeah, the opportunities came in. I got asked to be on the Undateables. So that was my first TV appearance. I did say no at first because I was like, listen, am I undateable? No, I am very much dateable. But at the same time, I thought of the bigger picture and how I could inspire others. And, you know, it gives me a leeway or a gateway to be on TV. So that's why I did it. And yeah, when I got management, it just snowballed from there where I am today. I just never stopped.
You've mentioned it a couple of times, so just so I know, there's going to be people who are going to be watching this interview saying, what books, what self-help books, which ones did you read? So list a couple.
The Secret, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Napoleon Hill. What was that one?
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. What else? There was How to Not Give a F as well. So those were the main ones that I read. But I've watched the Secret movie and I've read the Secret book twice. So that's the one that helps me the most, because the stories are so diverse, but at the same time, they give the same message of manifestation and believing in yourself and having the right thoughts to lead you to the best path, you know. So that's what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea where I was going, but I knew that I didn't go through all of this for no reason. I knew that there was a bigger purpose for me in my life.
Hella followers on TikTok right now. How many?
Yeah.
How many? I didn't check before I came on. How many?
About 255K on Instagram and nearly 3 million on TikTok, so 2.9K. So
how do you balance your comedic sketches with your more serious advocacy work? Because for those who aren't watching, she kind of funny.
yeah, I try my best. What I do, to be honest with you, I am funny and serious, so I don't try to strategically do it, if that makes sense. You know, like I show my funny side to a lot of people most of the time, but when it's time to get serious and talk about deep topics that should be addressed, I say it. So that's why I think on there it's like a balance of the two, or it's like, how do you juggle it? But if you're getting both of them, you just have to take what you're given from me in a way. But I just think it's so important to highlight the serious issues, because I know there's so many disabled people that go through so much and nobody speaks up for them. But if I can do it in a way where people can receive it well, then why not?
What advice would you give someone who's struggling with adversity, having the wealth of experience that you have? I'm not saying you have all the answers, but if you could guide somebody in a similar situation, what would you advise?
My advice would be to understand that the society we live in still has a lot of education to learn from, and still understand that there are different types of people. Sometimes as a disabled person, you can feel like it's your fault, the world doesn't like me, why am I going through so much adversity? But at the same time, we can be here to educate people. When there's something like, let's say in the workplace, when they say, oh, you know, do you need anything? You have to say what you need. You have to state exactly what you need, because if you don't, they're gonna not help the next disabled person, because they're not gonna feel like they need to help them. So always state what you need. Always speak up for yourself, especially when there's always something going wrong with disabled people. Like, let's say a building, they might have the lift broken. You need to complain about that, because that's not right. I think it even should be illegal for lifts to be broken in stations, because how are disabled people supposed to travel? It's just saying, it's basically like saying, oh well, they can't travel. It's like, I don't know, cutting off a highway and saying to the car, like saying to the drivers, oh well, it's shut, so find your own way. Like, it's just not right. So yeah, like wherever you can, speak up for yourself, because the world, this society doesn't understand the struggle whatsoever. So yeah, that's my best advice.
Where's your family from, Fats?
My family are from Sierra Leone.
Talk about the cultural difference that you've experienced, how that's impacted.
What, so like going to Sierra Leone and how disabled people are treated, and here.
Yeah,
Be
and
honest with
attitudes
you,
towards you. It might be that if there's more. I don't know what the differences are. So I'm asking you.
I think in Sierra Leone or Africa in general, they're obviously a third world country. They're way behind. Even in terms of mental health as well. They still believe it's witches and things like that. They don't actually accept that people go through mental health and depression and things like that. Like, that's why my dad, he's helped build a psychiatric hospital in Sierra Leone, which I'm very proud of that he did. And yeah, in terms of me, they look at me like I'm an alien. And same as here, some people look at me like I'm an alien as well. So, and there's no accessibility or consideration of accessibility. Here, at least there is accessibility in some places, but there's still a lot of work to be done, especially the fact that it's a first world country. We can build buildings and take in consideration disabled people and how they would access the place. So it's all about making sure having working lifts, making sure that the mechanism's good, having automatic doors, because all these things that help disabled people, they help average height people and able-bodied people, I should say, as well. It makes everyone's life easier. That's why there is automatic doors, so that disabled people don't need to push in front or pull, because it's a lot of work, and so that they can be independent. What else is there? Just more education in schools, I think, just on if they was to see a particular type of person or type of disability, they wouldn't be so shocked, you know. I think as well with parents need to educate their children when they do see somebody with a disability or facial disfigurement, that okay, they might look different, but they're just like everyone else. Just saying that simple sentence makes a world of a difference. And it's come to a point now where I have to educate the kids for the parents. And then that's when they wake up. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize, or, oh yes, don't say that to me. Like, you know, so yeah, I think in Africa, they're miles behind. But because I'm in this country, I want to do the work here, and eventually Africa and Sierra Leone, I should say, will take the lead, you know?
No, I understand.
Follow the lead. Sorry, not take the lead, follow the lead.
Yeah, I mean, they might even take it. Who knows? You know, you might be right. It might have been what they say, a Freudian slip there, but it might be true. They might take the lead. And we hope so. You know, why not? Why can't we think positively into the future? What else can readers expect from you though in the future, both in terms of advocacy work, tripping on that word today, and more creative projects, and just, you know, generally in future, what's Fats Timbo up to?
So I've done a few things. There's one it's amazing, but I can't say NDA. Documentaries.
NDA, no damn agreement. You can tell me then, right? Isn't it?
No, I don't think it works like that.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, hopefully you can see me in documentaries in the future.
Okay.
Just putting my face on more household brands as well, so that representation can be there. I don't want to be like a token girl, if I'm being honest. I do want to just pave the way so that the next generation or somebody who looks like me can do it as well. They can refer to me as, oh, if she can do it, I can do it, or she's been on that ad, why can't I be on it? So that's what I want to continue doing. And I just want to level up on my content as well. Like my boyfriend, he actually helps me a lot with content ideas and filming. So I just want you guys to see better content from me as well. So in the future, which I'm excited about.
Listen, thanks for your time, Fats. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you sharing, being candid. More power to you on your journey. Is there anything else you want to share with us, and where can people find you?
Just thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Fats Timbo, FATSTIMBO. You can also find me on YouTube as well. I'm going to be posting more on there. I do need to be more consistent, but I'll get there. But yeah, make sure you read my book. And if you do purchase it, do tag me so that, I can thank you. I can ask you for your feedback and what you thought about it. So yeah.